What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about XCN today, OnyxCoin. Hit that like button, you guys. Subscribe if you want to see more content like this, and let's get into it. Somebody had a interesting perspective. This is actually a friend of mine in the real world who apparently is actually invested in this, and they said that I'm very bullish on XCN, and they like that, and that I spend a lot of time talking about the upside, but even though I don't believe it's going to go down, and even though they don't believe it's going to go down either, what if I made a video in the aspect of the bear? What if I made a video looking for the bearish side and what we would need to see for the bearish side to be confirmed and how bad could it get? So let's look at that, right? First and foremost, not financial advice, not a financial advisor. I think the bears are absolutely delusional. I think that you guys have you're looking at an absurdly bullish chart and you're bearish, and I don't get it, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try to get it here, okay? So let's get it here, right? This video will be my bearish video on XCN. It is not what I actually believe, but it's what I'm trying to see from the bearish side here. Okay, so first and foremost, if we are bearish on XCN, if this thing were to flop, what we would look for very first and foremost would be some kind of close below this area here, below 1 cent. On a weekly basis, a multi-daily basis, right? That would be enough to be bearish. And if we look at the relative time frames here, we might even refine that a little bit more to something that's at these lows here, right? If we get some daily closes, maybe below 1 cent would be enough to start getting encouraged to the downside. But below 8.4 cents essentially, or 0.0084. I don't know, we went from 1 cent to 8 cent real quick. 0.0084 cents, or dollars technically. That area there, if we closed a day or multiple days below there, that would be some incentive for the bears to probably start celebrating prices that would be all the way down at around 0.0027 to 0.0034, and maybe, just maybe, let's see, we have another high, and maybe at least as low as 0.0044, something in that area. If we're looking at this from an overall perspective, from the low to the high, we take this into account from the overall low to the high. If this is the end of the move, right? I would anticipate then that we would go to the golden ratio down at 3.5 cents. And that makes sense a little bit, right? You've got areas of resistance down here, areas of prior support kind of in this area with the golden ratio here, right? If I put a line right here at this base, you've got that right at the golden ratio there. There's some sense to be made out of that. If we were to drop through the floor here, that's kind of the next stopping point. But you'd have to drop through the floor. What does dropping through the floor mean? That does not mean, and this is the same way that I talk about the bullish side, right? You need closes, you need confirmation. That does not mean a wick into this zone. Yes, getting into this zone, if you were bearish, might be enough to get excited about because you're seeing lower lows, right? And you're seeing confirmation that you're continuing to drop down. But it does look like you're in an overall consolidation phase, right? It does look like you're in a consolidation phase. So to break out of that and prove that this is a pump and a dump and that this consolidation phase is just a slow bleed down, you would need to really to start celebrating that we're going to go lower. I think you would need to ultimately close a week or multiple days in a row below 008381. If you can close below that, if you can close at the lowest area of the land of the rising sun over here, then the bearish effect might come into play. And if we were to line up anything else, let's just see here from a how would I want to do this? Maybe let's take a couple fibs this way. Let's do this. So from a high here, all the way from the high to the low there, yes, right? And then going just below the 382 might be something you do. From a high here to the low here, getting these extensions, does anything line up? I mean, your 1618's there, so if you break below that, we'd look for the 1272, which is right around the 382. So that's at least, these targets are a little bit higher, but still that'd be, about a 50% drop from here, which is possible. Closing below the golden ratio itself oftentimes does implicate that you go to the 1272, and maybe even below that, right? It's very common, though, to go from your 2618 as resistance to your 1618 as support and then continue from there. Sometimes it's not common, but when you see these scenarios, 2618, 1618, sometimes you do just go right up to your 3618. So to avoid that, if you're bearish, what you'd want to see definitely is a weekly close below the 1618 at 1.09 cents. That's a pretty high target, and that would open up the doors from this fib perspective alone. That you'd go to 0.00675 now, or 657. I'm sorry. Now, is this fib the most significant fib? No, it's not the most significant fib. It is being well respected, I'll say that. So that adds some significance. But extensions like this, sometimes they run their course. I would say the more significant fibs would be that high to low there, and then this low to high here. And that 0.5 lining up with the 382 is a big deal. The golden ratio, the bottom of the golden ratio lining up with the 236 is a big deal. These are much more significant fibs. So again, getting below that bottom zone there at 0.0084, essentially getting below that would very much implicate that we are, and not getting below it. Again, you have to close below it. That would implicate it that we're going down to 0.006 at least. or more likely, most likely 0.0035 to 0.002626, right? Again, this is not my perspective. I'm just trying to live in the head of a bear. You do have hidden bullish divergence. This is true. Lower lows here with higher lows there. That is hidden bullish divergence. So really to nullify that and to take a full bearish effect, what you'd want to see, I suppose, would be some kind of either continuation to the downside or maybe some kind of move up that rejects the 60 area, rejects this area here, and a move up like that. What would that do? Let's pretend like on your way down you're not going to move in a straight line, right? Just like on the way up you're not going to move in a straight line. There will be areas of resistance. Let's say maybe you find support in this area here. You go a little bit lower or right around here, and then you come back up to about 1.8 cents. Maybe you return back to your golden ratio at about 2.2 cents, something like that. And then from there, you would come back down, break below these levels. That would absolutely implicate that you're going lower. In fact, it's very common, if we take away this overall fib here, it's very common to bounce off your 382 when working your way lower, bounce off your 382, hit your 236, and then go right to your golden ratio. I want to be clear. We have to see a couple things here, right? This is the same thing if I was bullish. I would do the same thing, right? If you bounce off here and you go to the 236, that does not mean that we're going down, right? You have to find support, find resistance, and then come back to this area. Likely, if you come back to this area, you won't stop, and you will go to the golden ratio, okay? Which is, again, is at 203583, 202640. It's not completely convinced, though, until it's just likely. It's very uncommon that you would see this kind of maneuver and then bounce out and see something like that. It's very uncommon. It's not that it doesn't happen, but it is uncommon. So the times that this does happen, you don't close below the 382. You bounce off of it instead. So if we do see a close below the 382 after bouncing, rejecting the 236, and then closing below the 382, that would very much evidently suggest that we are going down lower, okay? But if we do close above the 236 here, if we close above 1.812 cents there, that would implicate, in fact, that the retracement's over and that the bearish effect is out of our hands. I know I've been saying 1.9 cents is the area to break above, and that's a little bit higher, so I'll take that. That's a little bit more hard to do than 1.8127 cents, but this is the technical target based off of this, what I would consider a relatively significant fib. The overall all-time low to the overall high of this bull market move so far, the bear market low to the bull market high so far. So that's kind of the bearish effect, I suppose, right? I had a little bit of fun doing that, but it just felt like, you know, that I'm giving you things to look for. That the RSI to me looks bullish, so I'm having a hard time being bearish on it. You could be bearish if you move up, right? Going up to that 236 here. If we were to do that, you could probably move up on your RSI to this 60 and then reject down and get to your, that would kind of get rid of this, that would negate this bearish hidden bullish divergence, because lower lows here with higher lows, yes, that is hidden bullish divergence, but a move up, that might be it. And then once you have that move up, if you go lower here, you have a lower low and you have a lower low in price, that hidden bullish divergence goes away. So something like that, little volatility would help the bearish effect, right? And then likely you'd break through this area on the next attempt and you wouldn't stop until at least somewhere around here or lower. If we, let's see, yeah. If we're looking at the daily time frame, the RSI looks like crap. It's terrible. It absolutely looks like it wants to get oversold. It looks like it wants to go down. So I have no argument there. Short-term bearishness, absolutely. 4-hour time frame looks like crap as well. You've got higher highs in the RSI here, right? Higher highs, and you've got nothing but lower highs. So that's hidden bearish divergence, actually. We have not gotten the move up that we were expecting, and I was kind of expecting that we get some kind of move up. It could still happen over the next couple of days, bearish or bullish. I think that you should keep in mind that XCN can do these little pumps, and it would be a lower high or something like that, right? I don't expect that you'd go above this area or even near it. It'd be some kind of lower high, and it'd likely come back down. That doesn't mean that it has to happen, right? Each time that we've found these lows where we've gotten these nice little pumps from, they've happened in the oversold zone, which we've yet to do. So, or from the oversold zone, right? Oversold here, nice little pop there. You weren't oversold here in all fairness, but you did find support at a prior area of resistance. Oversold zone here, and then you had a nice little pop there. So likely we would continue to move down before seeing any kind of pop. But not financial advice, not a financial advisor. If you're a bear and you're looking for the downside, don't FOMO on this next move up, because likely it will get eaten into, and we probably will see prices back down at these lows, if not most likely through them. And that's not the perspective of the bear. That's the perspective of just genuine, like what I see in the charts regardless, right? I do believe that we could see some kind of move up to 1.2 to 1.5 cents, and then likely do either find a double bottom at this low or maybe go a little bit below it or a little bit above it, whatever. Some kind of higher low could happen too. If not, we might just slowly bleed down, and then whenever it is Liberation Day, as people are calling it, or Fair If Wednesday is what I was calling it. It seems not to be so fair anymore. It's not. It's more of a bluff if. I don't know. I don't know all the details, right? I don't know if these countries that are getting exemptions or exceptions. I don't know if they've like called and made some kind of deal. I don't know how many tariffs there are. We'll see. We'll see. You know, I'm thinking that it's going to be worse than what a lot of people are assuming it to be, if they're thinking that it's going to be a good day. And I think it's going to be better than what a lot of people are assuming it to be if they're thinking it's going to be the end of the world. Right? I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, really. It will be a big deal in the long term. I think that it will promote, you know, a fair kind of floor. From an economic level, multinational like trade level, but what do I know? Beyond all that, right? Lower is the expectation. We probably are boring. We're probably going to slow bleed down until it's like Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one of those days, and then we drop. We could drop at any moment now. Don't be scared for it, okay? I very much do believe that the land of the rising sun will hold us up. It has not let us down yet thus far. Don't you dare let us down, Justin Sun. We're counting on you. 0.008381. That's just a joke, guys. I mean, I'm sure XCN, even without Justin Sun or Huobi or any of the other affiliations there that we might have, even without that, I'm sure XCN is going to do just fine, and it's going to be well on its way. At the end of the day, all bearishness aside, I very much do believe that this is a bull flag. It's really hard to be bearish in this situation. I mean, hidden bullish divergence on the weekly time frame, getting overbought, not being oversold. Even back here, whenever you were weak, you couldn't get oversold. Like, you just look too damn good, man. Somebody wanted me to address the volume, the decrease in volume. I'll gladly explain it. I'll gladly address it. Let's address it right now. I'd give you a shout out if I remembered. I wrote you back on the comments, but I even gave you an answer because I've talked about this a few times. But yes, relative to this, we have seen a decrease in volume. Yes, we have. But this was absurdly high volume, and it's kind of like what we had with auction, right? Except with auction, it was much more manipulated and longer maintained. We had I mean, you look at auction. If you're not aware of what auction's done, you guys, this thing, it literally dropped through the floor, right? It doesn't look like crazy volume, but man, it was seeing like 200, 300, 150% of its market cap in daily volume every single day up here, right? And then it just dropped through the floor. That didn't happen for XCN all the time. It just happened on a couple of days here and there. And maybe those were manipulated pumps to some degree. Maybe there was some manipulation going on, but there is good manipulation and there is bad manipulation. Some people have a hard time saying that or seeing that. They think all manipulation is bad. But the deal is, guys, the dollar's manipulated. It's the world reserve currency. It's the top dog, and it is manipulated heavily. Bitcoin is manipulated heavily too, and it is the top dog in crypto, right? Everything's freaking manipulated, man. If you have a lot of money, it's easy to manipulate things. That's just how it is. And there's good manipulation and bad manipulation. If it's something that's tied to the team and it comes back to bite them in the ass legally, bad manipulation. If it's something that's just, you know, it's just happening because someone with a lot of money is throwing some money around and pumping up the price and dumping it and moving it as they want to, I don't know if that's illegal. Like, I genuinely, you know, establishing pump and dumps is illegal, but if you're just moving the money around and moving the price around because you have a lot of money, I mean, I don't know. Like, is that illegal? Is that a problem? I don't know. I guess if you're doing it with malicious intent, yes. But if you're just having fun trading and you're making a killing, I don't know if that's illegal. I think you're allowed to do that. But I'm not a lawyer. I don't know. All I'm trying to say is, clearly, if this was bad manipulation, that's what it looks like. This is good manipulation. I don't know. 20x in 2 weeks seems pretty damn good to me, man. And I very much do believe we're going to get some more good manipulation to the upside. We're going to be moving up. That might be hard for some people to hear. I can already see the comments. People are probably making fun of that statement there, but they don't understand. They're probably just new. Anybody who makes fun of that, they don't understand because they probably haven't been in the markets that long and they think they know something, but that's okay. Maybe I think I know something. I don't know. I used to think all manipulation was bad too. That was in my first year. It's my 9th year, and I don't think it's bad anymore. Maybe that speaks for itself. I don't know. Not all manipulation, at least. Generally, yes, but not all manipulation. But again, that's maybe a philosophical thing. I'm sure there's plenty of people in their 9th year, 10th year, 30th year in technical analysis who'd be like, dude, what are you talking about? All manipulation is bad. But I don't know, man. I think it's just part of the game at the end of the day. I'm on a whole philosophical rant. Let's end this bad boy, okay? Inevitably, guys, bullish as hell. Super freaking bullish. I can't be more bullish, man. I'm probably the most bullish person on XCN, okay? There's nobody who's more bullish than me. People try to tell me about being bullish, but I know about being bullish. I'm kind of impersonating Trump without the Trump voice there. I'm probably likely the most bullishly bullish person. I'm very bigly bullish, hugely, ginormously bullish. I have the biggest bullish aura. He doesn't say aura. He would never say that, but maybe he would. I don't know. I'm sure he said aura. He'd say like aura. Anyways, guys, we're at 1.12 cents now. Very bigly bullish bull flag here. We're gonna break out and see some hugely ginormous price action, and it's gonna be huge. We're gonna make OnyxCoin great again. It's just a matter of weeks. It's just a matter of days. It's just a matter of months. Probably not days, honestly, but weeks and months, yeah. And once we do move up, I'm expecting that we will see targets above 20 cents. But you guys probably understand that already. You're probably well aware of that. So I've got nothing else for you. Down we go. 00840095. That's the target area. And then we'll be moving up after that. Hit the like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. I'll see you on the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.